All right, Mrs. Scribbler, you know what I'm checking out? Do you know what I am checking out? If she's there. China's disturbing fake doctors disaster, and this is crazy. But I think India's had this as well. I know probably the U.S. I haven't heard of any real cases in the U.S., but I know like India had a case a while ago, like not that long ago, but it was last year sometime, where a person tried to do kidney surgery, not kidney surgery, but like kidney stones, a surgery for kidney stones off of a YouTube video. If that doesn't scream fake doctor, I don't know what does. But yeah, this is China's issue with fake doctors. I'm pretty sure. No, wait, the US does have fake doctors. There were those fake plastic surgeons doing the veneers, doing like butt lifts, doing like, you know, you find them on Craigslist type thing. Yes, Mrs. Scribbler. Wani, we're checking out Wani, China's disturbing fake doctor disaster. And they're everywhere. Not just in China, they're everywhere. And I always need to clarify, just because some people are like, oh, it's just no, it's not China. It's not just China. These fake doctors are everywhere.
Who's one person you trust your life with? I mean, besides me, of course, it's your doctors, right? But what if I told you that the doctor who you trust your life with, or even more importantly, who you trust your face with, could literally just be some random guy on the street? Because currently in China, there is a massive trend of these so-called ghost doctors or ghost clinics, which are fake hospitals and underground beauty salons that are using patients as test subjects. Ever since the whole Douyin face aesthetic has popped off in China, there's been apps such as Soyoung and Gengmei that scan your face to recommend what plastic surgery you need next. And even some of these super dystopian commercials that are indirectly promoting ghost clinics and underground operations. But these apps don't just function like an online purchasing tool, they're social media platforms as well. You'll see people posting before and after surgery diaries, influencers giving recommendations, and everybody just makes posts to compare their procedures. You can also take out plastic surgery loans and happily end up in debt. Definitely not a billion-dollar insecurity industry or anything. And of course, this insane demand of perfection has created an underground industry for people trying to cash in as fast as possible. Since you have to keep up with millions of young people trying to become Douyin supermodels overnight, cosmetic clinics started popping up everywhere in China. But here's the problem. A huge number of them aren't even licensed, which ultimately ends you up with ghost doctors, who are people with little to no actual medical qualifications, injecting random substances into human faces for profit. Many of these clinics are also just operating in plain sight, and it's kind of scary how real and professional they look. Most of them are even massive companies that have multiple locations across China as if they were qualified. And these doctors are pretty much just doing it for the bag or just using people as training. So naturally, when you have amateurs doing plastic surgery using 1-minute tutorials, hundreds of accidents happen. And some people even go through WeChat to invite these doctors into their own homes for injections. Mainly because the clients avoid public attention and the fake doctors avoid accountability. So if something goes wrong, good luck. I mean, at this point, it's basically like the Wild West because, I mean, cosmetic surgery is insanely profitable. So people are willing to cut every corner imaginable, which eventually leads us into one of the most viral and disturbing cosmetic surgery stories in China. The case of a massive Chinese celebrity who ended up with a completely dead nose. Gao Liu, she's a massive singer and actor who's been in the game for a long time now. And if you were on Chinese social media around that time, this case was everywhere. Back in October 2020, one of Gao Liu's friends introduced her to a surgeon who was working at a clinic, and this was in Guangzhou called Xishu Time Medical Aesthetics. At the time, Gao Liu had been told by all her friends and fans that her features were already pretty, except her nose. And because she worked in entertainment, she thought that maybe just a tiny adjustment would, you know, boost her acting career. And you guys know that the entertainment industry over there is brutal about appearance. So Gao Liu agreed to what she thought was just a very minor procedure. She was assigned to this doctor named Dr. He, who was crowned at the time as the Nose King of Guangzhou. Nose King is crazy. And he was known by this title at the time. If you wanted to do anything to your nose, this was the guy to go to. He had done the most amount of nose surgeries in Guangzhou for those past couple of years, and he's known as the most experienced when it comes to noses. So she confidently signed the consent form. They also promised that she'd recover in just 2 weeks, so perfectly in time for her filming her new C-drama. Simple, right? The surgery ended up lasting 4 hours. And that's not just the crazy part, because during the operation, Dr. He removed her rib cartilage and her ear cartilage, then put it into her nose. And after the operation, things started going really wrong. When she woke up, she immediately felt this intense stinging pain, and her nose became inflamed and swollen really badly. Later on, Gao Liu discovered that during the surgery itself, her nose tissues were already becoming red and swollen, but the doctors just brushed it off and continued with the procedure. Like, instead of fixing the issue immediately, they basically kept her under observation, hoping that she would just magically heal herself. And for a few days, they just waited. But then
they just needed to call the healing caster. You know, you got to get the priest in. You have to have them cast the healing spell. No, the restoration spell, because the nose has to grow back. The normal healing just does base healing. You need the actual restoration in order for the nose to grow back. If it goes too far, they need the resurrection spell. But right now, you just need the basic. Oh my gosh.
Her nose turned completely black. Her skin was literally dying.
So it literally frostbite. Literally frostbite. It destroyed it. And the dead tissue eats away at the healthy tissue.
Because her nose started becoming necrotic. And that image alone...
Honestly, I said chopper. Got a blue nose. No, it's got the chopper nose, but it's black.
Terrified people all across China. I mean, this is just straight out of a horror movie. Because imagine trusting a beauty clinic with your appearance, your health, your entire career, and they basically are just using you as a beta tester. So only after the skin started dying did the clinic admit that they were wrong. So they suggested to do another surgery to just remove the implant. Then another surgery after that. So 2 surgeries in just the span of 4 days. And somehow her nose became even worse after that. So eventually she was just transferred to Guangzhou Southern Hospital to try to slowly get it fixed. Now, all of this had caused her to be suspended from 2 film projects that she was supposed to film that year. She said that she lost 400,000 yuan in income and was also facing a possible 2 million yuan breach of contract penalty. Her acting contract got terminated too, and on top of all of that, the medical expenses were piling up. At the time,
so that could destroy someone's career entirely, especially on those very cutthroat industries where they're just wanting the next one to take the place. You have to be constantly in the limelight, because the second you're not in the limelight, you're gone.
This really mentally destroyed her, and she even admitted that she was in a really bad place with bad thoughts, because it felt like her entire career and appearance were crumbling to the ground. And you would think that after everything Gao Liu went through, the surgery, the pain, the necrosis, the clinic would be shut down, right? But they threatened to sue her instead. When Gao Liu tried confronting the clinic's management about compensation, Dr. He, the clinic director, and even their lawyers started threatening and intimidating her to not mess with them. And apparently they even threatened to call the police. So Gao Liu was basically like, bet, I'll call them myself. So then the police advised her to check whether this clinic really had the medical qualifications to perform this surgery from the start. And guess what she discovered? Dr. He didn't even have any qualifications to perform this in the first place. So he was out here harvesting rib cartilages and reconstructing noses without even having the proper certification to do the procedure. And since Gao Liu was just one young actress, she felt powerless against a clinic that was part of a larger chain-backed operation with shareholders and even expansion plans. Like most people imagine some sketchy alleyway scam clinic run by this one shady dude with a fake certification on the wall. But in reality, a lot of these places look high-end and professional. I mean, fancy interiors, huge social media pages, and most importantly, influencer endorsements. It was also revealed that this clinic already had a bad history because authorities found that Dr. He had actually received 5 administrative penalties between March and October of that year. So right after Gao Liu's case exploded online, the clinic got fined, and Dr. He was banned from practicing for 6 months. Which, I mean, I feel like he should have just gotten his...
6 months. 6 months. You don't even have a license to practice. You're literally risking people's lives without the actual intelligence, and you're being absolutely negligent, not even caring about human life. And as a doctor, you risk that. A real doctor, not a doctor of letters or something like that. But it's just like, and it's just like, you know what? 6 months away, we'll do him some good. You know, let's just give him 6 months of vacation. When he comes back, he will know better.
Entire permit taken away. Now you'd think that would be the end of the story, but nope, they always have a plan. Weeks before Sishya time officially closed, a new clinic called Tingya suddenly registered at the exact same address. Surely just a competitor. A competitor with the same staff, same social media accounts, and the same Dr. He. Like, how's that even allowed? And somehow, Dr. He recently obtained his official plastic surgery license just back in April, despite being banned for 6 months. Meanwhile, the new clinic reportedly announced that they've opened over 30 branches across China. So after one of the country's most infamous botched surgery scandals, the operation basically evolved into a franchise. Netizens also review bombed them. I mean, take a look at this. Anyone who goes there is doomed. It's a maze of loops, a series of traps with arbitrary charges, costing hundreds of dollars. And if you do any search of Tingya Beauty Clinic, you'll see that their PR team is probably working overtime. Later, Gao Liu publicly explained everything on Weibo. She said no surgeries in the entertainment industry had become so common that they felt as casual as putting on a face mask. She also found out that if the implant had been removed immediately during the surgery, she might have actually just avoided necrosis completely, meaning the damage was preventable. But instead, the clinic just kept delaying and hoping it would automatically heal. And this mentally destroyed her. I mean, she spent over 61 days in Southern Hospital undergoing oxygen therapy and IV treatments. But at the end, luckily, her nose did heal and she looks much better now. Now, ever since this incident, some clinics have eventually started to be exposed. Just last month in April, authorities in Malaysia raided an unlicensed Chinese beauty clinic ran by Chinese operators. The immigration officials discovered that the clinic had been operating without any approval from the Ministry of Health. And the owner was from China, who was running the business and reportedly making hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. They were able to detain 6 6 Chinese men and 7 Chinese women, and several local workers. They also discovered that none of them even had valid work permits, and some were even allegedly working under tourist visas while performing cosmetic surgeries. They were able to seize phones, CCTV systems, uniforms, documents. Basically, they shut down the whole operation. Now, some of the cheaper beauty salons don't have much leeway when it comes to having a plan B after getting cracked by the government. I mean, one of them literally ripped down their sign and tried to escape the country after getting exposed. There's this girl named Xiao Yang who was just 18 years old who visited this small beauty salon called Meng Meng Beauty in Henan province. At first glance, it looked like a normal salon, you know, manicures, eyelash extensions, and like a bunch of beauty treatments. But behind the scenes, they were secretly offering illegal injections. And the salon manager recommended Xiaoyang something called a water light injection, marketed as a cheap, affordable skin whitening treatment. The price was literally only 199 yuan, so $30. I mean, that was already the first red flag. But also, the worker wasn't even wearing like a medical coat or anything. Literally just disposable gloves, that's it. And after the procedure, similar to Gao, her face started swelling up in red. Within hours, her body erupted with these giant itchy rashes and ulcers that even developed on different parts of her body. So Xiaoyang's family rushed back to confront the salon, and it was empty. The owner had already removed the storefront sign, took down all the posters, and started hiding all the equipment in a small room. Apparently, they were already planning to reopen later on with different circumstances if things cooled down. Xiaoyang called them, texted them, no response. Eventually, news reporters got involved and barely managed to track down the salon manager just last minute. She confessed that the injection's main ingredient was tranexamic acid, which is normally used to help stop bleeding in medical situations, not injected as filler. And this part's crazy. Where do you think they got it from? WeChat. Not only that, but it was from a friend that she trusted. Hey, if you ever need counterfeit liquids, I got you hooked up. The product had no manufacturer or any official certification, meaning it was basically a Temu injection package. And to nobody's surprise, the salon only had a regular business license. Yet they were still injecting random substances into people's faces. That's the craziest thing about this whole underground industry, man, because some of these owners probably wouldn't even dare to inject this stuff into themselves. But they'll happily sell it to customers for profit. And even today, Chinese authorities are still trying to crack down on this. China's National Health Commission, alongside 13 other government departments, launched new campaigns targeting illegal cosmetic procedures and online medical scams. They specifically targeted fake online promotions on Xiaohongshu, people pretending to be patients, and unlicensed operators. But honestly, enforcement is like insanely difficult. Some live streaming agencies even pressure men and women to take out loans for surgeries, promising that they'll become famous if they do. Pretty much giving you the dream, if you fix your face first, the fame will come afterward. And behind the scenes, some of these influencers have agreements with these clinics and take commissions from every person they send over. It just gets more and more dystopian every time a new beauty trend pops up. And for these ghost clinics, it's a massive payday for them. So if you somehow end up at one of these ghost clinics or underground beauty salons looking to get an injection to, I don't know, increase a couple inches, maybe instead of asking for a free trial, tell them to try it first. And also, guys, I've recently partnered up with Cheeky Soap. Honestly, if you guys want to take more showers, you guys can check
Cheeky Soap. Never heard of that before. Good for him finding more partnerships. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But at least in the US, the people are injecting themselves with drugs. Yes, there have been people doing veneers and people doing like BBLs, Brazilian butt lifts on the side, but it's oh my gosh, it's like what the heck? What the freaking heck? Yeah, everywhere has that problem. Everywhere has that problem with fake doctors, people you believe you trust to aid you, and a lot of people are just taking advantage of others. Like he was saying, things that they wouldn't even inject themselves with, they're injecting into other people. They're injecting into other people. But yeah, if you're going to go to a ghetto surgery, you might as well ask them to inject themselves with the stuff first. If they can do that, then you'll take some of it. Of course, they might keep some real supply on the side and then some fake supply for the actual paying customers. Holy crap. Holy crap. That was bad. That's just bad.
You guys get the video? It's so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait like that.